Hey, how you doing, guys? This is Blaise Sison with the Family Stone, and you are watching ForBassPlayersOnly.com.
Hi everyone, John Liebman here. You're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com. We're coming to you today from the Black Diamond booth at the 2017 Winter NAMM Show, Anaheim, California, with our special guest today, Blaise Sison. How you doing, Blaise?
Good, I'm good, John. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. It's an honor to have you. You've got such an interesting background. You currently have the gig with the Family Stone.
Yes, sir.
Playing all Sly and the Family Stone music with some of the original members. Very cool gig. There's a lot I want to ask you about, but I want to go back to the beginning. I'd like to hear, you are from Hawaii.
Born and raised from Hawaii. Born and raised, yes.
Tell me about those early days. What kind of musical upbringing did you have in terms of how were you first exposed to music and how did you become a bass player?
Okay, I'll give you the short version.
Okay.
I started playing, the first stringed instrument I played was a ukulele.
In Hawaii? Are there
yeah.
any trouble finding a ukulele?
They got them everywhere. So
Is it a requirement that everybody in Hawaii must play the ukulele?
No. I just was intrigued by just the fun part of it. You know what I'm saying? Friends of mine used to play all the local songs. I'm like, wow, how do you do that? How do you do that? I want to learn that. I'm talking like middle school age, like, you know, when I was in the 4th, 5th grade. You know, I learned how to play it. A couple of friends of mine, and I just had the knack for it. You know.
Would it be too cliche or insulting if I asked you about Don Ho and his influence, if any? You must have known who he was growing up.
Don Ho was a big celebrity. He's a big legend in Hawaii. You know, I never had the pleasure to work with him, but just, you know, his legacy alone was great. How he was like Hawaii representative, you know.
What was the big hit? Tiny Bubbles, right?
Yeah, big hit was Tiny Bubbles, correct, you know. But no, after I picked up the ukulele, I quickly learned the guitar, acoustic guitar. And now I remember exactly when I picked it up. It was like 75, 76, 77. I played electric guitar, and I was already playing George Benson, Earl Clue. My father put on all those records and just played them, you know, around the house, you know. Back in those LPs, you just stack up the turntable, you know, with your arm and drops it, you know.
I remember those on the hi-fi, right?
Hi-fi. But I was intrigued with the guitar, and I already had the knack for coordination for playing stringed instruments, you know. So I quickly took that and loved it. And then in the middle school, the high school that I was going to go to, you know how it works, right? You get elementary, middle school, and you go in that order. So the high school choir teacher knew I played guitar, but he didn't have a bass player to when I would leave middle school to go to high school. So he recruited me when I went to a sophomore in high school to play upright bass. I had no clue how to do it, but he showed me how to do it. And basically he told me, just use your ear. If it sounds wrong, don't do it.
So you didn't go through the traditional route with the Samandal methods and the bow and all that?
I studied the Samandal method, but it was on my own time.
Okay.
You know, the Ray Brown book, I went through the Ray Brown book. I went to Rufus Reed's book just to compare, but at the end of the day, it's trust your ears at all times, you know. And I don't consider myself a jazz bassist as far as playing upright, but I love jazz. I love all genres, you know. And you know, like right now in Las Vegas, when I play upright bass, it's not necessarily jazz. I'm playing funk on an upright bass. I'm playing rock. I'm playing contemporary stuff, you know. that's what I like, you know.
The list of people that you've played with, such a long list, includes everybody from Willie Nelson to Charo to Lee Rittenauer to Al Jarreau and on and on. Did you do most of that stuff after you left Hawaii? I mean, what were the circumstances surrounding your leaving Hawaii and going to Vegas? Was that directly from Hawaii to Vegas, or what happened in between, if anything?
It was, yeah, my initial relocation was directly from Hawaii to Las Vegas in 2000. But when I lived in Hawaii, obviously I started young, so I was already 17, 18 years old playing in clubs. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little timeline on those names you mentioned. Okay, so back in
I just threw them out at random.
Well, it's great, but I'm going to give you how it all came into play. Charo, she had a show in Hawaii. So it was like a Hawaiian show / hula show, you know. So I had a chance to sub for her bassist back then, you know. So I got a chance to share the stage and work with her. Now, getting back to this club that I used to work in, it was more of a fine dining restaurant in Hawaii back in the early 80s. And it was a hot spot. This is when Magnum PI was like the biggest thing. So all Tom Selleck
Always wore a Detroit Tigers baseball cap.
That's right. That's right. So that was the spot. You know, it was like a low ceiling, dark, but fine dining. So, I mean, I used to wear I used to wear a white dinner jacket with a black tie. You know, and I was the kid. I was the youngest, always a kid in the band. In every band I was always in, I was the youngest kid. So I was basically thrown into that pool, you know, and it's like sink or swim, kid, you know.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I could tread water for a minute, you know, and here I am, still above water, you know what I'm saying? But that restaurant was a very popular spot. So that's where I played with Al Jarreau. Al Jarreau came walking in one night, just walking toward the bathroom. He saw the band, you know, and we were playing. And he came up, he says, "How you doing, guys?" And I was part of the house band.
Yeah.
So I was there 5 nights a week, you know, it was a sweet gig. Got all my experience and chops there, but everybody came through. Chaka Khan came through there. Lee Rittenauer, Lee Oscar came on stage and played blues with us. You know what I'm saying? But I had a chance to play with Al Jarreau that one time, and we did.
Did you play Boogie Down?
No, we did Take 5. It's even better. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, okay, now that was in the early '80s. Okay. Lee Rittenauer. Let me take that back. Lee Rittenauer came first because this is what happened. From that job I was doing at that restaurant, a lot of high-end people came in there. So there's one producer he's a producer that was working on a CD, album back then. And he was dating the singer in our band. Okay, it was a trio. It was bass, piano, drums, and a beautiful blonde singer. So he was dating her. And he wanted me to play bass on this one project he was working on. Okay, I said okay. I've never done a recording session up until that first offer. So lo and behold, when I go into the recording studio, once again now keep in mind I'm still 18 years old at least. 18. I'm born in November, so I was like, you know, late 17, 18 years old. I go in there and you know, it's all by ear. This guy throws some chord charts at me and he plays the music. He says, "Play along with this and let me see what you got." You know, so I did that, and all the tracks were laid down. I mean, the basic tracks were laid down. So I walk into the actual recording studio a few days later. Lee Rittenauer sitting across from me playing guitar. I don't know who he was at that time. Okay, I didn't know who he was until after it was done with.
After what?
After the session was done with, you know, I'm a big Lee Rittenauer fan, you know. So till this day, every time I see him, I remind him about that, you know.
Let's fast forward a bit to your current gig. I know there's a lot of other stuff that you did. We can do another interview and fill in some of the dots and fill in the gaps. But tell me about what the gig is about in the Family Stone that you're playing in now.
Okay, the Family Stone gig is a dream gig. As far as being in the right place at the right time, going back to my Hawaii days, Jerry Martini, who is the original sax player, founding member of Sly and the Family Stone, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He was playing in a club that I was part of also. Okay, basically, Jerry Martini told me after he left Sly and the Family Stone back in the mid '70s, he went to Hawaii to detox. You know what I'm saying? So we've met in the early to mid '80s, doing some casuals here and there, but we had a permanent house gig in another nice fine dining restaurant / club. That's where I met him, and we became very good friends ever since. So when I left in 2000, I came here to start a new thing for me. I left on a good note, just so you know. When I left Hawaii, everybody gave me hugs and kisses and pats on the back and stuff, and I just needed a change. I needed a change. So Jerry Martini calls me like in 2004, saying, hey Blaise, me and Greg are putting the band together with Cynthia, and we got some dates. Come on board. I couldn't at that time. I was working at Caesar's Palace. I had just moved there in 2000. Had a nice house gig, steady gig. I just couldn't just leave like that. So, okay. 2 years later, 2006, he calls me back. Hey Blaise, Papa J again. What you doing now? I'm like, I can do it now, Jerry. Sure enough, so I joined the band, the Family Stone, back in '06.
You're playing all the hits, all the Sly and the Family Stone songs?
Nothing but the greatest hits of Sly and the Family Stone, man.
Gotta ask you, the obvious question is Larry Graham.
Yes, sir.
How much, if at all, do you or have you thought about Larry Graham when you're playing those bass lines? Is he part of what you do, or are you just doing your own thing, or is it somewhere in between, or none of the above, or all of the above?
It's all about Sly's music, okay, and I'm all about authenticity. So it's about Larry Graham's execution, But from what I learned from being in the band for all these years, is Sly Stone wrote all of those bass lines. He wrote all the bass lines, some of the stuff he even played on, but everybody else he gave credit to as far as some of the bass songs. I can't really name some of the songs right now, but I know them personally, which ones they are. But Larry Graham's a big, big influence of mine, from way back when. So when I do hit the stage with the Family Stone, it's all about playing it how it was recorded, executing it the way it was recorded. And that's what it's about,
That's great. It's got to be a lot of fun.
It's nothing but fun.
I mentioned that we are sitting here in the Black Diamond booth here at NAMM. You're obviously a Black Diamond strings artist.
Yes, sir.
And you've been playing them for a long time. So tell me what you like about Black Diamond strings.
I had the pleasure to meet Ellen and John way back in '01. '01 was my first NAMM. I came out here, and Ellen saw me playing with a jazz trio, upright bass. She came over and gave me a card. I'm like, okay, thank you. On the break, I went by and just introduced myself to her and met John. And we spoke, we kept in touch, and they offered me to try out some of their strings. Mainly, the first set of strings I tried out was the super sensitive upright bass strings. I loved them, great. And then Black Diamond Strings, which is their other company. I like what they offered also,
And you've been playing them for a long time, right?
I've been playing them since 2003 now.
Well, I'd say that's a long time. Obviously, you like them, so
I love them. I love it. Very good. From round ones to stainless steels to flat wound strings, I play them all. Black coated strings, I play them all. I love them.
Are you doing anything outside of the Family Stone gig? You still do some other stuff here and there?
Well, living in Vegas has its perks. There's lots of stuff going on for freelance players. I basically freelance now. Everything revolves around the Family Stone's schedule. So when I'm not on the road or I'm not on a big tour with them, I play all around, do some shows here and there. I'm on both electric and upright, but it's nice to just be in the mix still,
That's great. Sounds like a lot of fun. You have this gig, that gig, and you're doing all kinds of different stuff, upright, electric, playing in Vegas, going on the road. What could be better, right?
John, it's a blessing, man, to do what I do for a living. And I've learned through experience and growth in this business, it's a blessing. I get paid. I get paid to do what I do.
That's always nice, too.
Yeah. But I love it, but when I play that first note, whether it's an open E on the upright or it's a, it's just, it's beautiful.
Well, let me throw you a curve then.
All right.
What would you be if you weren't a bass player? Something outside of music.
I think I would be a teacher, somewhat in the education business, not necessarily music, but something, That's what I like to do. I like to talk. I like to work things out. That's as far as I can go as far as telling you what possibly I would be doing if I wasn't playing, because other than that, I have no other clue.
Yeah, gotcha. Well, keep playing the bass then. Obviously, you're good at it and you're having fun, so keep it up. It's great getting to know you and hearing your stories, and I'd like to continue, but we do have to go.
Oh, man.
Blaise Sison, an honor, a pleasure to meet you. Much luck, continued success to you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
With Blaise Sison at the Black Diamond booth at the 2017 Winter NAMM Show, Anaheim, California.
For bass players only.
I'm John Liebman. You're watching
For bass players only.
You're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com.
.com.
.com.